Okay. All right, honeys, welcome to Thursday evening. I see we are here from the whole of South Africa. And tonight's session is literally going to be informative about things that you need to look out when you want to do an online presentation. So maybe what you want to do is you want to take your notepad and pop it up right next to you, because the only thing that I've got on my slide is literally my PowerPoint. So there's a whole lot of things that I'm going to tell you to look out for when you're doing a online presentation. So you would have seen the recording that was released on Monday. All the tips around that has been surrounded around doing a live presentation, which means I've got 5 or 10 people in the room, and maybe doing a one-on-one. Okay, so the only thing that I quickly want to do again, are you all seeing me in a full screen view? Wait, I just want to put myself in full screen view here. And why am I not there? I should be there, No. So let's talk about all these things. So first of all, I would suggest that the app that you use or the program that you use is Zoom. Zoom is free if your meeting can be under 40 minutes. Okay. If you decide to do a paid one, the paid version, it is about 334 Rand. And it does have a whole lot of other benefits to it. But I think for the purposes of doing what we want to do, a free version is going to be perfectly fine, because currently your online whatever should be 20 minutes. So I cannot see, as the trend is really setting right now, about a year ago, your session should be 40 minutes. Right now, especially for an opportunity meeting, I believe the trend is that, Nicole, can you see if you can get yourself to not be, I wonder if, do you see me as in the middle of the speaker? Can you see me clearly, or am I at the top of one of those little small ones? Are you
For
all?
now, you are in the middle, and you are fine.
Okay, cool. So you all see that. So if you struggle to do that, because what mine did now on my side, it had Nicole all the time in the middle. And then the only thing you do is you go onto your little image where it is, and you double click on the image, and then it throws you, because I made Nicole co-host. The poor thing doesn't know who's speaking right now. I thought it's a clever program, but it's not. So that's your little tip. You just go and double click on your own photo, and then it throws you in the middle, because this is what I want to do quickly. I had a couple of people that said they couldn't really see on the other night's session. So this is my little flip folder thing. And I've put it into one of these flip folder file things. I took the A4 30 pockets. And then what I did is I put a very hard carton on both sides, there and there, so that it can give me a sturdy stand. And then as I'm speaking and I'm paging, you, as my viewer on that side, is seeing my color copy, while I am at the back seeing the exact same slide, but it's the black and white. And the reason why I printed it this in black and white is because I might want to add, in 2 years from now, your folder still works, but you want to add another word there or another phrase in there. So I can at all time just go and pop over on this, and then I have my little A4 folder, which fits into my big handbag at all times. The other thing that you then do is you make a little gaatjie in the two hard sides, and you put this thing through, which they call an Indian file string. When you buy them in a little box, there's 100 of them, and it's about 32 Rand. Then they're all strung together. And then every time you just cut it with your scissor there, and then you will have that little string, and you push it through, and then it causes your folder to stand up straight like that, and it doesn't fall. And you can do this on your A4 folder. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Natalie said she wants to print hers in an A3, one bigger.
Yeah, A3.
A3, one bigger. Because maybe most of us are going to start with an opportunity meeting in my office. So I don't have a projector at my house. I might have my computer screen, but maybe I just want to do it easy and pop this up. Okay. I always joke and say that these things and these things, they're always charged. They always connect. It works, Okay. I don't need to bring another plug. And then the other thing that I was toying around with was the fact that what would it look like if I would do a small A5 folder? Maybe I'll have 3 or 4 of them in my office. And the moment I identify somebody who wants to build a business, I can give her one of these immediately. And even before she gets a different viewpoint on how to build her business, I can quickly show her how it's done. So I can introduce her immediately to presenting. These small ones, according to me, you don't get them in anything bigger than a 20 pocket. So you would have to be selective of 2 or 3 pages from the original presentation that you're going to take out of. Okay, and then it fits in here and you do the whole same trick. Okay. The very first thing I want to say to you when you do a Zoom, your very first Zoom, do a dry run. Call 1 or 2 of your friends, of your honeys, of your fellow team leaders. Say, listen, can you give me 15 minutes? I just want to do this. Because basically what you want to do is you just want to switch on your computer and see if you can actually find yourself inside of it. And what I suggest is you only have Zoom open on your computer and you only have your PowerPoint presentation open. I try to close the rest because what you'll see is the moment I go to share, which is the little green button at the bottom of my bar, it gives me all the pages that is open. So if I've got 100 pages open, it's really, really going to confuse me and I'm not going to know which one to click. Okay. The other thing, make sure your phone is silent or muted. Because I know, and some of you are on this call right now, I'll be busy here presenting and you'll be calling me and calling me and calling me on my phone. Okay. So mute this little one here. It's very important. I think also make sure if you've got a laptop that can sustain the battery life, make sure you are plugged in and check and see if you are literally plugged in and plugged on. Okay, so that you're not at one stage have to go into a panic, because there's nothing that panics you more than a battery light that pops up in the middle of your presentation and now you realize you don't even know where's the charger. Okay, so pay attention to all those small little things. What else? Truly have water and don't try to not sip in between, because you actually exude so much energy while you're presenting here. And from the stress, your mouth becomes so dry. And I can honestly say to you, never get used to it. The other thing is I've got my flip chart here today. I'm going to use my flip chart inside of my presentation. Now, this sounds silly, né? But you know, some of these pens closes so stiffly that you nearly break a tooth in trying to get the prop off. So what I usually do, and especially when I use these very thick, fat cookies, which I would rather recommend, especially when we do an online presentation, just because of the sheer size of the line that it makes. And you can see that there is definitely a huge difference in how much visible it is. So these Koki pens, I just want to warn you, it's about 100 Rand a piece. I buy them and nobody knows where they are in my house, because after this presentation, I hid them away. Now, these ones can tend to be stuck extremely hard. So what I usually do before my presentation, I just put the cap on very lightly. And it literally looks like you're trying to pull teeth, and then you just can't get it open. All right. So I try to set up everything around me so that everything is in just like grabbing distance from me. If you have somebody to be a co-host, it really helps. I mean, like Nicole is always my co-host, and basically what she does is she makes sure that everybody that pops into the room gets admitted. Okay. That helps me a lot to really not focus. What I also do is I turn off the notifications of the chat group so I don't see them. Because you know what? If I were in school, they would have labeled me as ADHD, because I see a message and then I'm like, oh, there goes the butterfly. And then my mind goes a different way. So I try to minimize as many distractions as I literally can. All right. So what I'm going to do now, I think when you start off, try and mimic exactly a live presentation. A couple of key things here. You know what, guys? It doesn't matter what your background looks like. Can we just talk about that? It doesn't matter what your background looks like. I follow this guy on YouTube. He literally does this, where he actually writes on a board, and then as he's finished with his first concept, he tears it out, he took press stick and he puts it against his oven. He does his in his kitchen. I co-hosted a session with somebody on Monday night. She did it in her kitchen. The light was perfect. The cupboards were pretty at the back. So don't be fixated on what is behind you. Because also remember, if all else fails, you can go and you can set up a virtual background where you can either blur it or you can put a bridge or something at the back of it. So you can, I don't really particularly like this setting just because I move around a lot. And you will see what happens. It's like I'm a little bit distorted. Now, the trick into making this work a little bit better, which I now remember I wanted to show you how it works and I never plugged it in, is actually by having a light at the back of you. So this light hanging here, this one, which is now not plugged in, and I literally can't dive in there because it takes acrobatics to get in there. If you put a light on behind you, it makes that very hard cutout lines much smoother. Okay, but maybe you don't want to worry about that because maybe what we're presenting is a real business. Imagine if you present this business to somebody and something ignites inside of her and she says, listen, I want to do this. But we are so super professional that it is so hard to copy. So be relaxed. I'm not saying don't tidy up behind you. You know, maybe you don't want the dirty dishes behind you, but maybe your kitchen is the perfect place where you can go and do it, because the kitchen counter, first of all, you guys remember what I showed you, what my little thing looks like. Let me see if I can show you what my chicken coop looks like at this stage. And a kitchen counter is very much a little bit higher. Okay. So I'm going to try and show it to you there. But I've literally got a box, which the trolley suitcases came in. This is actually also where I put away my little trolley legacy suitcase. It still sleeps in here because then it keeps my box steady and sturdy. But that is what my whole setup looked like from the point that I see it, so that my computer is the right height and all those things. So kitchen cabinets really does make a lot of sense. I think the other thing is what you need to do is just adjust your camera a little bit, maybe your laptop, just see that camera setting is a little bit better. Do I want to zoom in? Do I want to zoom out? The one thing, however, that you want is I always put my laptop a little bit further away from me. So I'm about 1 meter and a bit away from my laptop physically, so that it gives me more space to speak here. If I'm in your face here, it feels like you can smell my onion breath. Okay. And this is about the personal space thing. So if I stand a little bit back here, It just feels more comfortable. Plus, you can see my body language. If I'm speaking here, I can use my hands and you're not going to see them. But when I'm here and I've got this little bit more of a space, I'm looking like a real human being. So that's something that you can keep in mind. All right. So I'm not going to, okay. And then the other thing is, when you do your very first session, why don't you just take the stress off of you and say, hi, people, you know, I've been in this business for a long time, but this is the very first time that I'm doing an online session. So I want to tell you tonight, I'm very stressed. I hope I know which buttons to press. So would you please just give me that grace to breathe and to figure this out? And you know what? Now everybody knows you're basically not knowing what you're doing, and it's fine because they also don't know. Okay. And I always believe when you do that, you make it so real for that person that is looking at, that is joining your call tonight and say, oh, but that's easy. I can do that. And we want to make our business look as easy as possible because it is easy. Okay. It's simple. Yeah. It's simple to do. It's not too easy because it's not everybody that does that. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen. And the transition into screen sharing, guys, takes a moment or two. It is not always flawless, and be okay with that. So this is another thing that I wanted to show you. Let me just go and exit there quickly. If you draw your PowerPoint presentation, especially if it's created in Canva, and you bring it into Zoom, can you see my opportunity? The Y in my opportunity is not really together. Can you see that? And I actually left it like that so that you can see that this is something that happens. Now, if you have not seen the mistake in the beginning and you could have fixed it, né? Just now walk over it. Okay? You know, like that dirty spot on your floor when your friend visits, you just act as if it's not there. But I left this here specifically so that you can see, because what I then need to do is I just need to draw it slightly, just drag it slightly so that it brings the Y back into the block. And it is necessary. I believe that you go through every single one of your slides so that you can have a look and see if they are actually spaced properly. And I can remember there was another one. Can you see what it did there? It just needs to be dragged and moved. So make sure, even if you used your presentation so many times before, just go and check that. I don't know why, but it does that. It can just change it the way it wants. Okay, let's go to from the beginning. We want to keep this opportunity meeting under 40 minutes. And that's why the presentation is there, to help you to stay focused. Okay, so I've done my little clicker because I now stand a little bit away from. Okay, now the clicker doesn't want to work. All right, it's just one of those things. Why? I don't know. Okay, cool. So as I go through my presentation, just stick to whatever is written on it. Don't try and add too many words. I think we get stuck in the process because we want to add too many words. So don't do that. Just carry through with the company vision. We are here to create opportunities to empower people. Make it easy and pop through them, but don't rush. Remember, technology speeds up everything. So you want to tell yourself, go slower, especially if you're like me, who tend to speak fast on a normal day. And then something that I also do is, remember, when you present, you tend to want to look in the little sidebar where the camera, where the pictures are, where you see yourself. So what I do usually is I do one or two things. I'll look close the sidebar so I don't see you. My camera in my laptop has got a little light on it, which makes it easy to know where I should look. But I can remember right in the beginning when I really started out doing this, I had one of those little clip-on little teddy bear things that I had that I just put on top of my laptop. And I always say to myself, that's where I need to look. And this is something that I need to focus on all the time, because even as I'm speaking to you right now, my eye wants to draw to this sidebar where I can see, first of all, myself, and secondly, the rest of you who's got their cameras on. So maybe what you want to do is really just say, you know what, I'm just going to minimize this, and I am not going to see my camera there at all. Okay. Wonder why okay, now it works. All right. We talk about the fact that we are worldwide. I think it's important to say, why are you interested in joining Honey? And if you've got, let's say you've got 5 people on your Zoom, and can you please be okay with having 5 people? Because those are the 5 people that have showed an interest in your business. And I don't even care if you've only got 1 person coming. Then do the presentation. And let's say 2 or 3 of you are working together, and that night arrives and it's just the team leaders. Then you stick to the agenda and you say, we're going to do this now. It's now not a dry run anymore. It's now a wet run. I don't know if there's such a thing, but you start and you present as if you've got a room full of people. Because if you give your mindset the opportunity to bail out now, you will not even set the next session. You will the next time when 5 people said, listen, I'm not going to make it tonight, you're going to cancel it. Guys, I struggle with that still to this day. Is that question is, will somebody pitch? Yes, they will, even if it's 1. And like I said, if it's only team leaders, then you do a dry run, or maybe you practice. Let's say for interest, it's me and come say Stephanie, ne? And it's only the 2 of us. I'm going to say, well, Stephanie, I'm doing 5 slides, and then you're doing 5 slides. Then I'm doing 5 slides, and you're doing 5 slides. We practice. Why would we waste the energy right now? But the most important part is, if you bail out now, you're not going to do another opportunity meeting ever again. Okay. Why are you interested in joining Honey? Ask this question. And maybe what you want to do right now is say, guys, I'm just going to stop sharing my screen for a second, okay, which now gives me the opportunity to find out where the cursor are. And I'm going to put you all on gallery view. And for those of you that have got your cameras on, can you maybe tell me, you can unmute yourself and tell me, what is it that interests you today in Honey? And then give somebody an opportunity to speak. You know what? We want interaction. So encourage that right now. All right. So maybe now you'll have 2 or 3 minutes. And well, thank you everybody for sharing with me. Can I tell you why I joined? I literally joined because I needed money to pay for my daughter's ballet class. And, you know, just make your story a little bit real here. So then I just say to people, I'm just going to find my presentation again quickly, and we are going to continue. All the time, I'm not putting pressure on myself. I say, cool. What do you want to earn? Okay, so maybe while everybody is like on the screen, maybe you want to do both questions here right now. What is it that you want to earn? And try and get engagement. And if they don't give you engagement, go with a 500 Rand. I don't know about you. Who of you would be able to really fix some things in their budget if I give you 500 Rand? Please raise your hand. Or maybe what you can do right now is you will see at the bottom of your screen, there's an emoji. It's a heart sign. So maybe what you want to say is, well, everybody, if 500 Rand will change the way your budget looks at the end of the month, can you put a heart for me up in that emoji bar right now? And I want all of you to find that emoji bar right now and just give me a heart there so you can actually see what it does. Oopsie. I'm clicking the wrong way. Wait. Okay. All right. So what do you want to earn? We go back to the 500 Rand story. I'm going to go through the honey journey briefly. You don't have to. Paul, I see you raise the hand. Can we maybe, for the purposes of this discussion, keep all the questions to the end? Because I might answer your question in between now, but I will on this session give you ample time to ask questions, because otherwise I must jump up and down and then I'm going to confuse myself. So maybe as you get a question, write it down. I don't know if you're like me. If I don't write my question down by the end of the presentation, I can't remember what it is. So please write your question down and we'll get back to that. So when you go to the honey journey, brief, okay? Just go down on, you join as a consultant, you recruit 3 friends, develop into an entrepreneur. Very, very sweet and short right now. The only thing I want to do is I want to show her there's a journey. But right now I'm speaking to a sales consultant, and that is really actually going to be my focus. Why is this thing not working with me today? Okay. We do talk about the care guarantee, the fact that our product has got a guarantee. I think it's very important that we mention it right now. And then when you get to this section, be reminded that a lot of people have joined this business or actually looked at the opportunity or are looking at the opportunity because of one handbag. They might not know that there's jewelry. They might not know that there's fragrances. They might not know a lot of things. So share with them, just briefly, what the different parts we have in our range. Now let's talk money. And this is the part that a lot of team leaders are struggling with, but just breathe because it's super easy and we're going to keep it easy. Okay. Again, you read whatever's here. We pay you instead of paying for ads and shop rentals. So which means you keep your profits in your pocket. Honey Head Office will invoice you the selling price minus your discount. Remember, we talk about discount, not commission. Simply keep your earnings and pay Honey the difference. Let me give you a real example. Okay, wait, sorry, this is not the real example yet. I've split them up here for you to show the 2 different sides of earnings. 15% on these items, 15% on those. And now I've taken a real example. Let's say the item is 349 Rand. Your discount that you earn on this item particularly is 20%, which makes it 69 Rand 80. And the best part of it is when you go to pay Honey, we deduct the discount off of your selling price of 349, which means you pay 279.20 and you keep your 69 Rand 80 profit in your bag. Now let's have a look and see what it looks like when I take this a little bit further. Important right now to speak to them about the 1 unit a day so that they can understand, because my next calculation is on 1 unit a day. This is something I wanted to show you, and now I don't know why. Can I just see if I can get this there? Why is the camera in use in another app? This is something that I figured out from another presentation on Monday. Now, I don't know now. Now it doesn't want to. Okay, let's skip that. I will do a small video together with that to show you actually how that works. So this is our earnings opportunity. Am I still sharing my screen? Yes, I am. If you're ever in doubt, you will have at the top of at the top bar of your Zoom bar, there's a little red button that says stop share. And like right now, when I doubted, what did I do? Do you still see me or not? I saw the stop share button shows there. And if it's still visible, it means that, I'm still sharing my screen. But maybe what we want to do right now is I just want to do this exercise and I want to do it live. If you are brave enough, and it's really not something you need to be super scared of, but if you just want to jump a little bit, I have to go and change my view to speaker view. Okay. I just want to bring the audience back into connecting with me again. Okay. So maybe what I want to do right here is I want to do that little 10 clients, 2 items at 50 Rand. I want to do that on my board here. Okay. So what I'm going to do, and I'm just going to do that sum as it is. I'm not going to rethink it. So if you have got 10 clients, okay, and now can you see what's wrong with my board? It's the wrong way around. Can you see that? If I would write the word honey there, can you see that my board is the wrong way around? Okay, so I did this on purpose because what I want to show you is if this happens, don't panic. Just say, oops, my camera is the wrong way around. You go to your little icon at the bottom where your video, you know when you switch your video on and off? Okay, you can go and click there. Then you go to video settings and it pops up a little screen. And then there is a little block that says mirror my video. And then when it's clicked, you just unclick it. And there you'll see my video is now the right way around. Okay. Obviously, that's something that you'll test maybe in the beginning, but if it happens in the middle, and that is what happens, relax. Oops, guys, sorry, camera wrong way around. Let me just switch it around. So I've got 10 clients, and I am selling to each of them 2 items. And remember, I just explained the 1 unit to you right now. So these clients, are, on average, we have found that clients will purchase 2 units. Maybe a pair of shoes and a pair of earrings or a handbag. Actually, when she purchases a handbag, it's a little bit more than 2 units. So my 10 clients, for the purposes of this calculation, 10 clients who's each purchasing 2 units. And can you remember how much profit we make per unit? We said that is 50 Rand. Okay, that means I get a profit. And now can you see immediately I can see my 50 Rand is a little bit out of my camera shot. So the only thing I'm going to do now, I'm not going to start moving my board because it, you know, then I step on the cable and then I trip on this. The only thing I'm now going to do is I see in my camera, I'm now going to restrict myself up until I'm there and just right on this side. Okay. And then this takes me to 1,000 Rand profit. Okay, now I want to do the second slide. What I now want to do is I'm going to take a different color Koki. And I say, but you know what? I can influence this here, this number. I can go and make it 20. Because I'm going to teach you as a sales consultant in my team how to work on your list of sales consultants, how to not forget what, not sales consultants, clients. How to not forget about clients and how to service them in a targeted approach. So in the beginning, you're going to start off with 10 clients, but you can move this up to 20. And my goal for you are going to be ultimately to move that up to 30. If that same 20 clients still buy, say, 2 items at 50 Rand profit, this profit now, okay, and guess where I'm going to write this down? I'm not going to write it to the bottom because I can immediately see I'm out of my camera shot there. Okay, so I make sure that I write it in my different color pen just over there, 2,000 Rand. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop back to my presentation so I can neatly show that to you. And remember, when you pop back to your presentation, you want to click start slide from current slide, not from the beginning. Okay, take time, don't rush. I always see how people rush and then they click start from the beginning because that's the default setting in your mind. And then they have to pop through all these slides just to get this. So just breathe calmly, pop it down, start at current slide and continue. So there I've done the calculation for you again, showing how 10 clients can bring me 1,000 Rand. And then obviously if I move those 10 clients to 20 clients, that can bring me a 2,000 Rand earnings. Okay. Take them through wearing the product, social media, catalog, physical. And at this point, you can also say all of these aspects I'm going to teach you on. I'm going to train you. I'm going to show you. I'm here to be your business coach. It's important that they know that we will support them. And then it's important that they know that we've got an infrastructure through which we are going to grow and develop them through the Sales Consultant Journey Success Plan. Remember, I said to you, every video that I've done for you, for every Tuesday Sales Consultant session, is going to go into the success plan. So you are not lying when you say that, because you've actually got it already. I think do talk about a little bit about the Honey website at this stage, the fact that they can work from home, but it's very important. And at this slide, usually on my notes, especially when I use my little flip folder, I've got a couple of things to say. I say to them, I'm passionate about this business, but I will tell you one thing, a lot of people look at the business and think they can come and make easy cash. Now, it's not a difficult business to do, but it's gonna require work. There is no business out there where you can just step in and make money and not put in the effort. Just as I'm putting in the effort today to show you the business, this is part of me working. When I produce a training session to you, that's part of me working. So even for me, that is the truth. I don't sit back and the money just rolls in. I work every hour for every cent that I earn. But this business can work for you as you work from home, as you work from your current place of work. If you understand the business model, you engage with the training sessions, and you actually go out there and do it. Then testimonial. Even if we are doing a Zoom right now, I have got to make sure that I prepared somebody for a testimonial. We spoke about her testimonial. I know exactly what she's going to say. I know exactly she's not going to speak for 10 minutes, but she's also not going to speak for 20 seconds. And always remember, your testimonial should be applicable to the opportunity meeting that you are hosting. So if I'm hosting Sales Consultant Opportunity Meeting, I'm going to make sure that my testimonial is aimed at sales consultants. And if I don't have a sales consultant testimonial, don't forget your own. And then you start with when I joined as a sales consultant, and you lead with that story. Know your why. Maybe it's important to touch on that again, and then some common questions. And now here at the end, now I want you to go for it. So what I am going to do right now, so this is the only thing. So you might end on this slide, and maybe you're going to add another slide, because at this point, and I'm just going to unshare quickly or stop share so we can look at each other again. At this point, you have to ask yourself, how is it that you want your people to connect to you? Okay? Because if I had a very successful campaign, I might have 100 people on my Zoom. How are they now going? Because I want now commitment. This is commitment line. How do I get them to now sign on the dotted line? Because I want them to commit to this business now and not go and think about it. Okay? So maybe what you want to do is you want to put your WhatsApp barcode there. And you might say, okay, so everybody who are ready to start right now, you can quickly take your phone out and scan my WhatsApp code there, and send me immediately. This is what I need. I need a copy of your ID. I need your address, your email address, and your cell phone number. And then I will facilitate your signing up session right now. And maybe what you want to do at this stage, okay, let's say before you do the call to action. Before you do the call to action, I am going to, okay, it's in any case in the slide that says the general questions. I'm going to talk about my recruitment pack. I grabbed this one. I know it's not the recruitment pack, but my other one is full of other things. So I'm going to quickly talk about the recruitment pack. I am sticking to whatever Honey puts on the table. If it's a 189 recruitment pack or whatever it is, I'm going to stick to that. Okay. So I present that recruitment pack for my ladies. The one thing that I am going to do, however, because remember, this is about me, it's about my business, is I'm going to make sure that my recruitment pack has got a little bit more meat in there. And I'm going to tell them that the recruitment pack that you're going to purchase, I have loaded a little bit, because in my business, in my team, I want to add value to you. And you can add silly things in there. that is really, I mean, maybe I want to add one client card in there. So the day I do client card training, she knows what I'm talking about. You know, my little order form that I usually do, the one that's got the both sides, maybe I'll add one of those in there, because when I do training, I wanted to have something tangible that she can work with. I don't know. I'm just going to add a couple of things in there. One of the things that I want to add in here is I want to add in for her a little card with a little checklist with a sales consultant journey. So that when she goes home, she can come to at one point and say, you know what, somewhere I missed week 3, day 5. Can you just send me that video again? So that she's also got something that she can, I mean, hold me accountable for her training. So that's also going to go in there. The other thing that I also want to do, or that I've always done in my business, and we've gone back to that right now, is, oopsie, there goes my cookie pen. All right. Is the little honey money pouch. I did check, they are still on the app. They are 300 Rand for 10. And what I'm going to do in them is, when I do my interview one-on-one, one-to-many in Zoom, I'm going to say to them right now, so straight away, you are going to tell me whether you're interested. And then my next question is, when will you purchase your starter pack? However, if you can come in the first week, and I'm doing a 7-day challenge, 7 days from now, if you can bring me a 750 Rand order, 750 order, and the reason why I'm sticking to it, I'm 100% sure it says exactly that in this little business booklet. So I try to not contradict myself everywhere. What I have done is I am giving you this little honey money pouch. And on the inside, and actually when I do this, it's really in there, but mine only arrived with my stock this afternoon and I haven't unpacked it yet. I've done those beautiful dangly earrings for 69 Rand, 79 Rand, those pretty ones with the topaz stones. You are getting that from me. So week 1, 7 days, a 750 Rand order, and you get this in addition to your starter pack, because by then she's got money to purchase the starter pack. We've sorted that out, and she's got her very first taste of honey money and a pair of earrings on the inside. And maybe what I want to do is I want to see these flyers. They fit in here perfectly, because I want to make sure that I can close it. Maybe I want to do a couple of extra add me cards. Maybe if you are like me and I've got 152,000 cell phone SIM cards, I want to add another one in here. You know, whatever I've got available, and then that pair of earrings are going to go in here as well. And maybe what I'll do is I'll make sure that it's got a nice, stunning little congratulations note tied up here. And when she collects her order, they are all packed out on my little countertop here. Because when she walks in, whether I have got one person qualifying or whether I've got 5, I'm going to have 5 to 10 packs already packed out there. Because even if she looks at this and she's reminded of the challenge, I wanted to see that they are packed out there, that I am a person of my word. I think it's very important, especially in today's age when there's so many empty promises out there, that we show people, listen, here it is. Okay. I've got a recruitment challenge in my team for EEs and my sales consultants. And we've got a Stanley Cup, a real one, not a fake one. Okay. And it's literally standing here. And every time I speak to them about this, I make sure that I do a live photo of it so that they can see it's not a stock photo that I took, it's here. Okay, it's here. There's my Stanley Cup and you can win it. So I always say that for every activated recruit in my EE team and in my sales consultant team, you get 1 ticket for the lucky draw. Minimum 20 tickets must go in there for us to qualify. However, if we've got 35 recruits, I will go and buy a new one. Okay, an extra one. I mean, these cups are 1,000 Rand and they are a hot topic. Okay. You can do a lucky draw on this year. You get a little app which is called Spin the Wheel, which you can either load onto your presentation and you can do it live. That does take a little bit of a higher level skill. What I would suggest is maybe what I will do is I will say to Nicole, she's got the app on her phone, and I will ask her, because maybe I know we're only going to be 15 people. So right in the beginning of my meeting, I'm going to ask everybody to make sure that they've actually put their correct names for me on their little camera. So if I call up somebody, I can call them up by name. And I'm not going to call up and ask silly things like, okay, so who is Samsung 192? Okay. So, and then I'll say to them right in the beginning, I want you to quickly put your name up for me because we want to do a lucky draw, because today I have got a Healing Bee to give away. And then in that process, I'll quickly do some training on Healing Bee and why I chose this to be the product of choice. And then what we can do is when Nicole has loaded all 50 names onto the app, she can literally just go, okay, we're going to go over to Nicole now. She's going to switch on her computer. She's going to take the phone. She's going to spin the wheel. And whoops, there's our winner. And that is our winner. Guys, you can do it as manually as that. You can even go old-fashioned and have 10 name tags and throw them in a bin here and do a lucky draw. So doing a lucky draw is really still something. But my only question is, how do you actually get it to the person? So maybe what I will say is, because I just thought about it now, how do I get it to them? So maybe a lucky draw is not a good idea on a live event. My business, I can change the rules as I go. So for the person who wins the lucky draw tonight, will not only, at activation of her order, not only will she get the Honey Money pouch, but what I will do is, I will throw in a honey product. It's the Miracle Bee for you inside there. So which now means only the guys that sign up and only the person that does their first order are going into my lucky draw. That's a way that we can sidestep that, because now when it goes out all in one go. Okay. I love this business. We can make the rules as we go. Okay. All right. I am now going to go over to the chat. So maybe you just want to type out your question, or you can raise your hand and then we will give you an opportunity to ask your question. Or maybe you just want to give a tip. Maybe there's something that you need to teach us. If there is any questions that you've got around this subject.
Hi, Corné. Antoinette here.
Yes, Antoinette.
With the little, like the little gadget that you used for your screen, where do you get it and how do you use it? Is it like connected to your laptop via the PowerPoint? Is it like one of those beamer things that you would use in a normal presentation?
Which stream are you talking about?
The little button that you were pressing earlier on when you were doing your presentation.
The clicker.
Yes.
So the clicker comes with, let me just put myself again in there. So my little clicker comes with a little thing, which I'm going to pull out of here, which is so stuck that and long nails doesn't really work so well. Okay.
Perfect curl.
These clickers, you can pick them up at these little computer shops for very affordable. They can come as little as 100 Rand. And yes, it does work for that price, okay? So what it usually does is at the back, it's got one of these little receiver ends. Can you see it? Okay. Oh, no, I think that's better. Okay. And then you just plug it into your computer, you know, where you would put your wire mouse in. And then the secret is always to make sure that you've got the battery. And this is the one thing, after I'm done here, I remove the battery from here. Okay. I always remove the battery, make sure it's switched off. Obviously, when you start out, make sure it's switched on, because then it doesn't help. And then that's how easy it is to use it. I don't borrow my stuff to anyone. Okay, and I'll tell you why. 2 reasons. First of all, I don't know if you realize you have to beg people to bring your stuff back, or is it only me? Is it only me? Because sometimes I think I'm the magnet of bad energy. I also don't like to ask for my things back. I will rather than go without it, because I feel that you've borrowed it, which means it must come back. I shouldn't ask for it. And the second thing is, if I don't have it next time, how can I do a presentation? And I spend my money so that I can increase my business. It's a different story if me and Feroza are doing a thing together, we're using my clicker, but she's not going to take my clicker home. Now she can take a photo and I'll tell her exactly which shop I bought it from. She can go and buy her own. Okay. Anything else?
Evening, everybody.
Yes.
Hi, Kone. You mentioned when you started your presentation that you had done a previous Zoom. Was that last week? Did I miss one? Because I got a message saying it was cancelled.
The one that was cancelled was when I had that very lovely gastro bug.
Oh, shame. Sorry, I didn't know about that.
No problem. Which I then recorded the Monday and I posted it as a little video. So you can go on my YouTube.
Oh, so I didn't miss it. Okay, no, I did watch it. I thought
YouTube
it was one I
channel.
missed.
It's the top one at this stage.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Yes, sure. Anything else? Who has done a presentation of some sorts in the last 10 days? I have literally done one this morning at 8 o'clock. Can you, oh wait, wrong side. You see why you don't move your board up and down? You've always got the wrong side. I did one this morning. There's my little drawings. I did it this morning. The only thing I want to say to you is you cannot expect your business to grow if you're not presenting the opportunity to people. The only reason why you bought into it was the fact that somebody presented to you. Let me just see what Mpo says. How can you do Zoom meeting with your style stations? Okay, cool. Yes, absolutely. You can use a Zoom and do a meeting with your style stations. Do a very easy presentation. Guys, you don't even have to do a presentation. Can I go back to the point where I took my diary and I wrote their agenda, welcome, recognition, my top sales consultants' names, and actually just give it to you as if I would have done it if you sat in my room here. Because maybe you're not good at creating a presentation. I mean, maybe you're like me. I do not create my own presentations. I cannot do it. I've got Ria Maritz that I contract out to do it for me. And that's why my presentations are always as fabulous as they are. Never because I did it. If I did the presentation, it looked like this. I can draw on paper. So if you do a meeting, just take the pressure off of you, have the meeting, puts everybody in gallery view maybe at that point so that everybody can see each other. And if you've got 3 style stations, I would say it's okay to say, guys, it's cameras on tonight. So that you can have a little bit of interaction, because it's really not easy to speak to nobody. Okay, so it's cameras on tonight. So in my invitation, it will say, hi, it is opportunity meeting tonight, or not, it's normal team meeting at 6 o'clock. Remember, if we advertise something for a time, you start on time. You start 6 o'clock, whether it's you and one person, you start. You let the others come in as they arrive, and you run through your little agenda. The only reason why I will not have a meeting without an agenda is because you will most probably be stressed. It is a completely different thing to do a presentation like that, because remember, you get no energy that feeds back to you from the other side. And if I don't have it all written down, I'm going to jump all over the show, and then I've never said what I did. So I'll still do my preparation, but I won't fixate myself or tie myself down to a presentation. Some other things is the way, the payment method, and the other things when you advertise in your statements. Some will get it and some won't get it. Okay. So if I understand you correctly, it is about explaining the payment method to the people. Now, in my presentation, the very last slide, let me just quickly go there. In my very last slide, Mpho. Oh, wait, wrong side. Ugh, man. Okay, there's my common questions. So first of all, what I've done here is how do I get my orders? When I do a presentation, especially when I am sharing tonight's Zoom with Feroza and her team, I am not going to relay my team's rules. Listen, guys, you pay on a Monday, you get it on a Thursday, all those kind of things. I'm going to keep it generic. However, if the people on the call is only my people, I can sit here and I can say, this is how the payment works. You have to place your order, pay for your order, explain the 5 days, those kind of things. And then at that Mpho, can I tell you, that is the one process in my team that I explain the most. All the time. I teach and reteach and train again about the 5 days. What I usually do right after this. No, man, I don't want to load my whiteboard. I don't know why I did there. Okay, cool. What did I want to say now? After I have my presentation, even after I have got my little one-on-one here, remember I've bombarded this lady now with so much information that she might remember 10% and be okay with that. So what I usually do after my meeting is I send up a follow-up little video, which I created on Canva, where I step by step explain to them exactly how you place an order, how you pay for an order, 5 days. So I send that again to them. Okay. Okay, yes. Nicole says that you can do your presentation through Google Meet if you're going to keep to 40 minutes. You know what? Doesn't really, there's so many different things that you can do it through. As long as the app that you are using is generally used by other people. I find that a lot of people there's more people with Zoom on their computer than Google Meet. And what's the other one? I know Office has also got one. But usually Zoom is more popular. People understand Zoom. You know, COVID unlocked the world of Zoom. So I try and stay with the apps that is generally accepted or easily known. All right. Okay. I say Windows is Teams. Yes. The other one is Teams. Also very easy. If you've got a younger market, they are very used to Teams because when school happened on lockdown, it happened in Teams. So it all depends on who's your generation. Okay. If there's nobody else with a question, maybe you can raise your hand or you can just unmute yourself. But I think as I'm waiting for another person to pop up, this is again another thing. It's practice, practice, practice. And remember, if you screw it up, this business is as forgiving as the heart of your child. You get up, you review it, you do it differently. And even as we role played the other day in the boardroom, there were some of the honeys that really realized that they would most probably never stand up and do a presentation in a room where there's 50 people. But the moment I put them down onto the table and I put this folder in front of them, fear disappeared. So it doesn't really matter how you present your business. If you do it like this, and you know what you can do on this A4 book, you can easily do 4 or 5 people. You can easily do 4 or 5 people at a time by using this. My only question is to you at the end of the week is, how many people did you present your business to? Because that at the end of the day is what is going to affect our scorecard. Now, I don't know who of you actually dared to look at your scorecard. I'm just going to run over 1 second. So this is my honey scorecard. You can see it is a rough thing in the working. And what I'll do is I'll add it in the link below if you have not put your hands onto this, okay? So what you'll see there is, I wonder if I can just not pop it up quickly. Let me just see if I cannot just, oh my word. Okay, sorry guys, now I am just quickly thinking where it could be. I've got it here, open. Okay, now let me go back to PowerPoint. No, not PowerPoint. I must now go back to Zoom. And share. Oh, there it is. Okay, cool. Can you see it now? So the idea of my honey scorecard is to say that every day I want to track some actions in my business. I don't want to wait until month end and then say, oh my word, I don't know, it was such a bad month and I don't really know what went wrong. And you know what happens now? Now we go to blaming. It is this one, I'm full of accusations. What's the ABC of a victim mindset? Accusations, blaming, complaining. D is I defend myself, and E is full of excuses as to why this is not my fault. But when we look at the scorecard, when I look at my weekly sales, I want to know exactly how many new orders came in on Monday, how many orders were paid, what was my current open orders. And I'll tell you, I quickly on Monday saw that I was not happy with my new orders. I had 491 rands of paid orders on Monday. The very first thing that I did is I turned around, I looked at Nunu and I said, we need to draft payments. And she says, I'm on it. And she starts doing it. Guess what? The next day, our paid orders are nearly 3,000 rand. So we addressed it immediately. Okay. When you go a little bit down onto the weekly recruitment card, the weekly recruit scorecard. When I ask a team leader, how many recruits do you have? They say, oh, you know what, I really struggle with recruits. I get recruits, but I don't activate them, or I struggle to activate them. And then I started realizing that some of them actually don't have a recruit. So they tell me they struggle to recruit, but it's not the real problem. So if we work it from the bottom up, I want to know if there's a sales consultant that achieved above 2,500 rand. I'm just going to write her name in the block. If I've got one that activated an order, I'm just going to now write her name with a block. Maybe somebody initiated the whole process and she said, you know what, I am actually going to join. And when I put my number in that initiated joining, that is the number of people that actually added onto my WhatsApp group for me. That is what that is. So after tonight's opportunity meeting, I've got 9 people joining my WhatsApp group, which means initiated joining 9 people. But on this whole thing, I had 55 people who showed an interest that came to my opportunity meeting. Okay. But the question is, how many conversations did I start? And very often, I believe your scorecard would read like mine. Monday, 0, 0, 0. I stopped at block number 3. I thought I don't need more zeros. Tuesday, I started the conversation with one person because I thought to myself, there is no way that I am going to put another 0 in here. Wednesday, I started a conversation. Thursday morning, yeah, on my board, I started a conversation. I'll tell you, and then today, I've got 3 people that initiated joining, which they popped up onto my WhatsApp group, which now means that I've got real, tangible data that I can work with. Then when I go back down to the last one, I'm not going to have a team meeting every day of the week. But did I promote my team incentive maybe 2 or 3 days? That I have a training session? Like this week, I'm doing massive training on my team. So every day I write in there and I just want to write the topic that I'm working on, because this now goes into my planning folder at the end of the month. So I can make sure that if I sit and I wonder what happened in my business, I don't have to wonder. I can take out my scorecard. Okay. All right, I'm going to stop share. Is there anything that you maybe just want to ask around the scorecard? Okay, Nicole asked, recruits aside, does a transfer from another team be considered a recruit? Maybe you want to add another block, or maybe you want to put it in red or something. I mean, I had 2 sales consultants that moved into the area. And even though they were active at their set, they want to pick up here, whatever. So I'm going to write them down as to transfers. I might just find a different spot for them, maybe here at the bottom. It all depends on to you what you want to do. I just want us to sit at the end of the day and say, I know why my business did bad. Or alternatively, when somebody congratulates you for being on the top 30 and they ask you, how did you do it? You can say, I'll have coffee with you. And then I'll show you how I did it. This is how I did it. I didn't thumb suck my recruits. They didn't arrive by UFO and came down in my living room. No, I went out there and I worked for them. Okay. All right. 10 minutes past 8, and we actually, I think, said a lot. If there is no other questions, you are... Okay, Monet says she's learned. Monet, you are the master of one-on-ones. I tell you, if you ever want to learn anything from doing a one-on-one, it is with Monet, but she only works with one-on-ones. She is excellent with personal connection, which is why she has got such a steady, stunning business. Okay. So thank you for every one of you that are in areas where it's really flooded, where there's a lot of rain. We send our love. Stay safe. Don't travel unnecessary. But yeah, I hope that you go out and you go and test this. Go and try it. This is way better than going to the dentist. Okay, it's not something you need to be as scared of. And the first time you've done it, you actually realize it's not that bad. Whether you've done it one-on-one, whether you've done it one-on-many, whether you do them this way, it's all up to you. Pleasure. Thank you.